Alright, I'm going to show off the 80 and the 40 column versions of the Wordle clone I've been writing. This is the 80 column terminal that I'll be using. And the 80 column systems are usually any PC that can support the IBM character set or ANSI. Most 40 column systems don't support that, so you have to, plus they, half the horizontal resolution, so you have to write them differently. Anyway, let me load up the 80 column game. So, here's the 80 column version. I think it looks pretty good overall. The area under the banner right here is actually two 40 column elements just concatenated together, and I did that because I'm lazy and I didn't want to write a new scoreboard for the 80 column mode, so I just thought, let me take the 40 column scoreboard, which is the version that I wrote first, and just put something to the left of it so it looks somewhat nice. Let me talk about how the game works a little bit. You know what Wordle works like, so you won't be surprised by most of the features. Daily challenges can only be played once a day, and all players on the same server play on the same word, just like real Wordle. These words are picked from a word bank of about 2,300 words that I found on GitHub. Somebody had a CSV. So I've cited his repo in my README to give him credit for that. You can only play them once a day. And the way that the words are picked is they're actually seeded from the day's date. So everybody has the same seeding logic, but because the date changes, you'll get a different word each day for your daily challenges. Practice mode is pretty self-explanatory. It's just you can play it unlimited amount of times. Picks a random word from the word bank. You play on that. Games that you play in practice mode don't count towards your stats, which I figure, that's kind of a no-brainer. So now that you got a pretty clear idea of how, it works, let me show you how playing a game looks. So each game board is a 5x6 character grid that supports color, and that's important so that you can get these cells colored for whether the character is in the right position or not, or if it doesn't exist. One thing that I haven't thought about yet is how that it would work on monochrome displays. Using color is just how Wordle does it, but monochrome displays couldn't display like this green or this orange. And I don't know how I'd represent whether this character is correct or not on a 40 column display. I'd like for this to work on really any kind of system, so I'll need to think about that in the future. But I'm gonna finish this game real quick and give you an idea of how it looks while you play, and then I'll move on to the 40 column mode. I was robbed. Maybe we'll get him next time. So you get it. It's Wordle. It's not that crazy visually, but I feel like I'm pretty happy with how it is right now. It's just Wordle. It works. Let me switch over to the 40 column system. So here's my C64U. This is what I'll be using to show off 40 column words Wordle. So this is the mode that I wrote first, since I always knew I could adapt parts from the 40 column graphics to the 80 column graphics. The banner's not as nice as the 80 column banner, but that's mainly due to, like I said before, 40 column systems not supporting Unicode or other character sets that you typically use in ANSI art. But I think it looks good for what it is. Let me load up a game, show you what it looks like on 40 columns. Now, you might notice that on the 40 column system, it takes quite a bit longer to draw everything, and that's because usually 40 column systems have a much slower draw rate compared to 80 column systems. I think maybe in the future I'll rewrite how the board is displayed to be redrawn instead of completely just spit back out. So instead of if I type in a new word like you saw how it printed out the entire board again, and so now we've got 3 boards on the screen. Instead of that, and instead of clearing the screen every time, you just tell the game, go to these cells and change these values to reflect the current board. So it would only go to the cells that it needs to change and change those rather than redraw the entire board every time you type in a word. It would speed it up for lower speed systems. Another thing I should mention is I haven't guarded against users being able to type in just crap. So, you know, there's nothing to stop you from just typing in 5 R's and seeing where the R is actually supposed to be, right? That's an easy fix though. You just need a bigger dictionary that represents every 5-character word you could possibly ever type in, which has to include the word bank, right? Anyway, something I hadn't really thought about until now, but there's really nothing to stop me from just brute forcing this. So I've typed in 5 R's. I can type in 5 O's. Okay, so now I know where the R and the O is. But that doesn't make you a good Wordle player, apparently, so I'll probably fail this one as well. Dumb word. Alright. Don't hate the game, hate the player. So that's about it. I'm pretty pleased with how the game is now. Once it's reached a higher level of polish, I'll probably clean it up and write some install files so that it can actually show up in the external program section, which, here, just so you know where it is, there's this, you see the external program section, you just go in there, go to the game section. Synchronet comes with Minesweeper installed, which looks pretty nice, but you can see here with the 40 column display, it's redrawing the entire screen each time. And it still takes quite a bit for it to just change, like do an animation. But if you try that on the 80 column display, which I'll switch back over to real quick. On the 80 column display, animation's a lot faster, just because the screen draw rate is a lot faster. So anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about. I'll let you go. Thanks.